Hello friends and happy Monday. So we're going to sing a song. It's a Spanish song. And when we sing this song, we're going to be splitting apart the word chocolate. Do you know what that word means? It's very similar to the English word chocolate. And that's what it means. In Spanish, chocolate is chocolate. Okay, you ready? I'll sing it nice and slow so you can get the hang of it with me. Ready? Uno, dos, tres, cho. Uno, dos, tres, co. Uno, dos, tres, la. Uno, dos, tres, te. Chocolate, chocolate, bate, bate, chocolate, 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 bate, bate, chocolate. Do you think you got it? You want to sing it with me again? Uno, dos, tres, cho. Uno, dos, tres, co. Uno, dos, tres, la. Uno, dos, tres, te. Chocolate, chocolate, bate, bate, chocolate, 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 bate, bate, chocolate. So that song is basically saying mix chocolate. And that is very similar to what we're going to do today. Today we will be baking. Okay, when we're baking, the first and most important thing that you want to do is wash your hands. So I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay friends, so the most important thing when you wash your hands is that you use friction in warm running water. So friction means that you rub all of the parts of your hands. So let's do that. We're gonna wet your hands. We're gonna grab some soap. You only need a little, not too much. And then we're gonna rub all parts of our hands, making sure you use lots of friction. So you wanna get in between your fingers. You'll wanna get the back of your hands. And I like to go rub each finger individually like this. And then even your wrists. Then, the water is warm now. You're gonna rub them under the water. You don't wanna just simply rinse it off like this. You wanna keep using friction to fully clean your hands. Then you're gonna take a clean paper towel, dry your hands. Dry your hands fully first. Making sure to get in between all the fingers because you remember, germs still live on wet hands. Then you use your paper to close the water. Okay, so today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies. And I recently found this recipe from the Doubletree Hilton. And they have yummy cookies if you've never tasted it. And so I wanted to try out this recipe. I've never done it before, but now I'm gonna do it with you. So the first thing you wanna start out with is softened butter. I forgot to take my butter out earlier, so I try to mash it and soften it. And guess what? Our friend Olive got me this for Christmas. Thank you, Olive. I love it. It's so sturdy, so it's really good for mixing. So I'm gonna mash up this butter a little bit more and make sure it's nice and creamy. Yes, it's nice and softened now. I'll let you take a look. And then you want to add your sugar. So it called for both white sugar and brown sugar. So I'm gonna add that to the mix. I'm gonna continue mixing, bate. All right. So I creamed together my butter and sugar, nice and mixed. And then I'm going to add my egg. I actually had to do half of the recipe because I didn't have enough chocolate chips. And you definitely want enough chocolate chips for your chocolate chip cookies. This is how it looked after I added in my egg. Then I'm gonna add vanilla. The recipe calls for 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. So a quarter is actually 1/4. So thinking of a picture, if we have 4 and we need 1 of those, that would be 1/4 or a quarter. Okay, this recipe also called for a quarter, remember that's 1/4, a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. Let me get my lemon juice, I almost forgot it. So sometimes you have to improvise, so you have to just use what you have. I don't have lemon juice, but I do have some lime juice. Do you know, in Spanish, they call limes limons. So there's actually no word for a lemon in Spanish. Whether they're yellow or green, it's limon. So I'm just gonna add a dash of this. I'm really just guesstimating. So this is how it looks after I added my wet ingredients. So my wet ingredients were the eggs, it was the vanilla extract, and then I added the softened butter. And that's not necessarily wet, but it is very soft. And then you always have to cream the butter and the sugar together first. So although sugar isn't a wet ingredient, that usually goes with the wet ingredients. Now I'm going to add my dry ingredients together. So I have my flour in here. I have salt and baking soda and a pinch of cinnamon in here. Can you see that brown color? It's a pinch of cinnamon. I'm gonna add that to my flour. This recipe calls for oats, so I'm excited to see how that's going to taste. And then I'm gonna mix all of my dry ingredients together. You see the oats and the flour and the baking soda. There's some salt and a pinch of cinnamon in here. And then what I'll do is add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. All right, so let's do that. I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. See, added some of the dry ingredients to the wet. I'm going to mix it. Okay, this is how it looks after I added all of the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients together. And now the best part is adding the chocolate chips. This is how it looks with all of the chocolate chips in there. So many chocolate chips. Now what we're going to do is get our cookie sheet and start putting them on the cookie sheet. All right, here's my cookie sheet. I'm adding a piece of parchment paper so that they come off easily. And we're gonna make these cookies big. So I'm using big tablespoons to scoop out some of the batter and make a nice big ball. Like this. There goes the cookies on the cookie sheet. And now I'm gonna put them into the oven. So if you're gonna do this, make sure you always get an adult to do this for you. Before I started, I actually I had to preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So the oven is all ready. So let me put the cookies in. All right, they're in there. Now for this recipe, it's actually, they make the heat lower and they bake them for quite a long time. It's about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer to 20 minutes and then we'll be back. Okay friends, while I'm waiting for the cookies to bake, let's do a little practice. So today we are baking. What word is that? Baking. And let's clap the syllables. Baking. It has 2 syllables. Now today we're actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to give you the word and then ask you to delete or take away one of the syllables. Okay? So we have baking. Can you say baking without ing? It is bake. Bake-ing without ing is bake. So here's the visual. Baking without ing is just bake. That's not how you spell bake, but you get the idea. The next word we have is flour. 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 Can you say flour without blow? It's just the sound of R. Flour without flow is What about this one? Butter. What word is that? Butter. Can you say butter without B? Butter without B is tur. Oopies. The last word I have is mixing. 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 Can you say mixing without mix? Mixing without mix is ing. Okay, friends, I can't wait for the cookies. I'm gonna go check on them now. Wow, friends, look at how big these cookies got. It said that the sides needed to be nice and golden brown and the middle still soft, so I think they're good to take out. Okay, friends, these are these huge cookies that we have here. The recipe says that I have to let them cool for 1 whole hour. Okay, friends, I think the cookies are nice and cooled. Let's see. Look at how big this cookie is. It's about half the size of my face. I'm gonna take a bite. That cookie was so yummy. You have to make these. Okay, boys and girls, that is all I have for you today. A kiss, a hug, or a high five if you want it. Have a great day.